And I'm looking in the sky, and that's the constellation Orion in the middle of the sky. You can see the belt of Orion, and even the the M42, which is a sword of the Orion. And I'm using the Meade ETX 90 on the polar aligned telescope tabletop mount, using the Rigel QuikFinder and 20mm Orion Expanse. The image quality is superb, sharp, it's achromatic. This is achromatic. I'm holding the camera by hand. And as far as I can see, the clock drive of the telescope is actually keeping the moon in the field of view. Part of the vibrations you see is because of the table, and part of it is my hand. It's a picnic table. And visually, even the image is sharper than this even. Moon has not moved from the field of view. That's clock drive is working. Hallelujah, it's really good. One of our viewers have asked if I see any blackouts when I'm using the Morpheus. This is a 14mm Morpheus, and I don't see any blackout with this. He had the blackout with the 9mm eyepiece. I don't have the 9mm, I have 14 and I have 6.5. I will do test with both of them. My hand is moving, and also the table is wobbling. And I'm using 6.5mm Morpheus also, no blackout. Although this magnification with this Maksutov 13.4, I think it is quite high magnification. And I'm not enjoying this magnification this much. So, and this is the field of view. Vibration is my hand and the table wobbling. And this is the Skywatcher Nirvana 16mm 82 degrees field of view eyepiece. Again, the vibration and shaking is because of the table and my hand. And this is Televue Panoptic 24mm 68 degrees. Is the widest field of view when using 1¼ inch eyepiece. As you can see, this is the widest field of view. Amazing clarity. The clouds are coming. And the clock drive is actually working, keeping the moon in the field of view. Amazing. It's nice to have the target staying in the field of view. You can see suddenly, clock drive suddenly moves it in a tick. So it brings it back to the field of view. That shows my polar alignment, roughly, is actually adequate. This is a Celestron E Lux 25mm Super Plössl eyepiece, and the image quality is really good. I will show you now the image. Celestron E Lux 25mm eyepiece. Plössl. Tapped for the focus, and now you see the brightness is adjusted. And this is the Meade 40mm Plössl. Amazing eyepiece, very low magnification, perfect for this telescope. Let's just see how the image looks through this one. So you hear sometimes a tap 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 sound. I'm taking photographs. Also the sound of as if plastic is or rubber is being stretched or pressed. That's the rubber guard of this iPhone. Sorry, of this telephone mobile camera. So all in all, I think that I have a nice experience with this now. I've tested it with different eyepieces, and the telescope was able to keep the item in the field of view. I'm a little bit disappointed with the Rigel. It's very difficult to actually get and see the anything, you know, you don't see even the red dot. So I prefer probably a normal finder scope. Hallelujah, I was able to get an image with the Rigel QuikFinder. You can see the 3 stars of the belt of Orion, and I'm going, and the target is now clearly, you can see, is M42. Oh, I'm so delighted. I think the first time I couldn't see it, probably it was not on, or it was very dimmer. I should have turned the knob completely. So, lovely, nice view. Okay, for these pictures, I had to hold the camera against the eyepiece. I was very tired. I didn't do a really good job on this, but that's the result so far. Hallelujah. I can see the trapezium, 4 members of it, or at least 3 members of it, with a 40mm eyepiece. Meade 40mm Plössl. Amazing. Yeah, any eyepiece I put here, now I have the Televue, will give me the sharpest images I've ever seen. Maksutovs are the best telescopes. Value for money. You don't need a Takahashi, this is a Takahashi. Better.